Hola Colchoneros, welcome to Atleti Fanatics, and as usual I have with me Saint Keeks, and today we have our, let's say Fran is making a debut on our channel. So Fran, welcome to Atleti Fanatics. So Fran is from Argentina, and he watch a lot of Brazilian football. This is what I know so far, and obviously he's an Atletico Madrid fan. So Fran, let's just start with you. What are your thoughts on the current situation of Atletico Madrid with the transfers going on? Just basic thoughts before we start with the topics.
Well, I think it's a very exciting time. I don't remember a lot of times that the club spent this much money and intelligently, bar some exceptions. So I think it's very exciting. And well, we have to see how they play together, but I am extremely excited.
For sure, for sure. I mean, like people keep saying like we are spending big. Like yeah, like we are spending big. But still, I would say like Real Madrid like still ahead of us with the spendings they have. I think they have like 180 million something. Like we're still we have 30 to 20 million figure less than them.
And we
But
sold a lot of players for some
yeah,
money. I
exactly,
I think we got like
exactly.
more than 60 million in departures.
Exactly. This is what most of the people don't understand. They keep bragging about, oh, Atleti is spending so big. We spent so much in the past 2 seasons. But the thing they don't want to know is Atleti is selling players as well. But yeah, I mean, you can't really argue with some of the idiots we have from the other side of Madrid. But yeah. Anyway, so we're going to start off with the departures we had recently. So we're going to start off with Samu Lino. So like as Saint Kings have told me, like you support Botafogo, and so
Yes.
yeah, Samu Lino is going to Flamengo, so that must be a little bit of weird situation for you. But I mean, Samu Lino was with us for past 2 seasons, and when he signed, like when he came back to Atletico Madrid, like a season prior to this, he was literally exploding. Like I remember his matches against Lazio in the Champions League, and then obviously that match against Real Madrid. And that season, like he was really really good on the left hand side, and like I seriously thought like we have a perfect Carrasco replacement because defensively he was pretty decent as well, and he was doing a pretty good job for that wing back role. And then this season it's completely different. Like we can't really recognize Samolino this season. So we got 22 million for Samolino plus I think it was 2 or 3 millions in add-ons. So guys, I'll start with you only, Fran. What are your thoughts on this one? Like, are you happy that he left, or like, are you satisfied with the transfer fee which Flamengo paid? What are your overall thoughts on this situation?
Well, I didn't want him to leave. I thought he was a perfectly fine player in our squad, and maybe we could have sold other players. But yes, he had a bad season last season, but any player can have a bad season. I think that the real Samu Lino is what we saw in the first season. And well, we sold him at the first opportunity we got. I'm a bit scared that he's going to Flamengo. Flamengo have that left hand side has been a necessity. They have Bruno Enrique, that is like 35 years old, I think, and Everton Cebolinha. I think you guys maybe remember him. He played for Benfica, and both have been quite bad. But Everton has been bad, and Bruno Enrique is just old. And yeah, Flamengo tend to play with the winger, the left winger, that holds with. So Lin is going to be perfect there. Plus, he's pretty good off the ball, so all the things that matter in South American football, he has it. But I didn't want him to leave.
Saint Kicks, your thoughts on Samolino? Because I mean, like we knew, like there has to be a sale because we're linked with a few other players as well. For example, Ademola Lookman and then Enzo Millet again, which we're gonna talk about soon. So yeah, I mean, so do you think like Samolino just got into the way and like we just needed to make some money and then we just literally sold him just to make some money, or do you think like he did have a future with Leti? So yeah, again, what are your overall thoughts on Samolino?
I think he had a future with Atletico. I think having a down season doesn't mean that you're somebody who should be on the chopping block immediately. But I think some players get certain favors in Atletico and some don't. I think we've seen certain players who have been around for some time being kind of mediocre for a little bit longer than others. It's a shame that Lino left, but there have been rumblings about Lino potentially being sold somewhere in between, like early mid season so far. So it's like we kind of knew this was coming. We talked about it before, where we were saying it seems like it's really bad timing because when you look at our squad and you look at who could potentially be sold to get any sort of money, it's like a lot of our squad was older players, uh, contracts that are very quickly about to run out. Like they have a year or 2 years left on their contract. It's like you, in theory, for instance, you could get a lot more out of De Paul, but De Paul is 30, 31. He had a year left on his contract. He couldn't really push for 15, 20 million, right? So, well, more than 50, 20 million versus what he should in most situations cost. So maybe we could have got more with Lino, but the point was, I think we had to. I was just like building up, trying to having to accept the fact that Lino left, but I didn't want him to leave. I really like Lino. He seems like a really nice guy. He was really good for us when he was playing well, and I think it's a shame that the story ended like this. Maybe the story's not done. Maybe he'll come back, but I doubt it. But yeah,
I mean, Felipe Luis is building Atlético de Madrid 2.0 in Brazil with Saul, Samu Lino. Maybe like more people can join Flamengo in future. I mean, like again, this is what I really liked about the Club World Cup. I mean, like most of the people would say that like Club World Cup wasn't really that good, but I think it was good financially for some teams. For example, again, Flamengo. I mean, like I didn't really expect a Brazilian team to like go like for example, like walk into the transfer market with like good fees. I mean, like Fran, you know this much better than me actually. Like, is it like usual for Brazilian teams to make, I mean, like 20 million or 30 million signings?
20 million signings is a lot. This year, the transfer record was broke thrice. First by Palmeiras, and then by Flamengo, and then by Botafogo. All bought a player for over 20 million. It's not common for a player to be bought over 20 million, but Brazilian clubs do have money. So it's also not uncommon, especially Botafogo, that is Botafogo, Palmeiras, and Flamengo are the teams with the most money. Botafogo because they are owned by a dude with money, and Flamengo and Palmeiras because they simply have money. And yeah, well, Palmeiras spent about 80 million this year, and Flamengo started slow, and now are spending money. They bought a player from Russia for 15 million, now Samu Lino. But yeah, it's common, but not that common.
okay,
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. Like, Club World Cup has definitely helped these teams to gain some money. That's what I was saying.
Well, I think Palmeiras won about 60 million in prize money, and Fluminense like 80 million, but Fluminense are not known to spend a lot of money. So yeah, in general for South American teams it has helped. Well, River are also a team with huge amounts of money, but it truly helped Boca, even though they didn't get far.
mm,
Okay, so there you guys some positive side for the Club World Cup. But yeah, anyway, moving on to our next departure, which was again, I mean, like we all knew this was coming because again, like we saw the Club World Cup, and then there was a rumor that Rodrigo De Paul was actually negotiating with Inter Miami while we were playing in the Club World Cup. If that's true, I mean, like that's bizarre to be honest. But Rodrigo De Paul. I mean, I would say like this season, like he was one of the best players in Atletico de Madrid, and he had one of his best season with Atletico de Madrid as well. And then suddenly the next season, I mean, like he's gone, and I mean, like we heard the stories last summer as well when some of the Serie A clubs were interested in him. I heard the rumor of Inter Milan, and then this summer, like it finally happened. And I mean, Carlos Buquero, I think even our board members, I would say, like they were literally after his ass because again, they were not really happy with the player. And they got the opportunity in the Club World Cup, and there you go. And like he's gone for 15 million, and I mean, I would say like it's a, even though like some people would agree or not, but I would say like again, it's like really, really a big shoes to fill, this one, because again, Rodrigo De Paul was our creative playmaker in that midfield position, and now hopefully Alex Baena can fulfill that position. But what do you think about Rodrigo De Paul going to Inter Miami? Fran, let's start with you.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, he's a guy that won't ever lose his place in the national team, especially now that he's playing with Messi. He's friends with Messi. He just now got engaged with his girlfriend, and they are all friends with Messi's family. So it makes sense. He's not going to earn less money in Inter de Miami. So I see why he did it, but he's a bit of an idiot. Uh, he's 31 years old, and he's going to United States. And yeah, it was his best season for us. But I think we can replace him easily. I think we got enough creativity to replace him with Baena, with Almada, with Julian. I don't miss his creativity. I maybe miss his range of pass, but we have Barrios, so I am not too worried. I think we can replace him. Any player like Javi Guerra, Milot, those are players that will replace what he offered pretty well and be competent backups. So I don't mind. But yeah, I think 15 million for a 31-year-old is okay. So I'm happy. I mean, I am Argentinian and I want to see Argentina at Atleti, but I was not particularly fond of De Paul at Atleti. I kind of hated him at times, but yeah.
Same Keeks, what about you? I mean, like we've talked about this a lot, obviously. But
yeah,
again, you can be brief about it.
yeah. I'll be brief, but yeah, it's same kind of vibes. I agree. Where it's just like I think when when it comes to how we feel, it's like the Paul has always been at moments amazing and at other moments really shit, and it's just like that inconsistency where you never know what you're getting on the day in terms of how long he's going to be in this period of time. I think it was really nice that he was really good this season, but he started off horrendous. I remember that Real Sociedad goal. I felt horrid in that moment. I was like, I can't believe he did this to us after we were defending so hard. But yeah, like it happens. It's whatever. I I've already spoken on this already, but yeah, I'm fine with him leaving. I think we can replace him. Um, so yeah,
Do you think like we can find that some like guy with that like some bulliness in him in the midfield, like who can literally rage bait some of our opposition? Uh, are we losing that kind of player?
More or less. I mean, he was a guy that knew how to provoke the opposition, that knew how to play big games. You could say, like you remember the game against Bayer Leverkusen where we got the red card pretty early on, and he provoked the Leverkusen players all game, and he finally got the red card for Hincapié. So I mean, we are losing that intelligence in that department, but overall, he was not really a huge bull in midfield. I mean, he was pretty passive in defense. He didn't really give us much in that department, I think, but he knew how to play those big games.
yeah,
True, true. So basically, what we're saying is like again, he's 31, so like his experience, so yeah, kind of you can say some sort of like leadership. But yeah, also talking about this, actually, Fran, like you're from Argentina as well, so like we are losing players in Atleti Madrid from Argentina. Basically, like some Argentina band is breaking at Atleti. Angel Correa just left. De Paul just left. We added Thiago Almada, obviously. I mean, like I'm gonna ask you this. I mean, like this is off topic right now, but yeah, what do you think about Thiago Almada going to Atletico Madrid? So adding one more Argentinian to the squad.
I am known to be an Almada hater. I did not like him before Atleti, and he played for Botafogo, so I had to make a truce with him at some point. But we're going to stick to positive things here. So he can be good. He can be good. I don't think Simeone is not going to play him. I think he's going to be have a lot of minutes. But he's a creative player. He's not a great dribbler, but he has a personality that I think good players have. He's very clutch. He's a good finisher. He's really good at finishing. He used to take penalties most of his career. I remember he took one of the winning penalties against Sao Paulo last season in Libertadores. So there are some positives. He's a pretty he glides pretty well through the opposition block. He's agile, but yeah, you're not getting a great dribbler. You're getting a good creator and a clutch player. He will always appear in big moments. He scored in every instance last season in Libertadores. He scored against the winner against Uruguay. We were down to 10 men in Argentina against Colombia a few weeks ago, and he scored the goal to tie the game. So there are some positives, but I am not a huge fan.
Okay, what do you say? Like perfect Angel Correa replacement? What do you think?
He's a pretty decent Angel Correa replacement, although they don't play in similar areas. I like what Angel Correa gave us because he was a pretty versatile player. You know, you could do whatever you wanted with him. I remember in our title-winning season that Suarez was injured and he was playing as a striker. He could play on the right, on the left, as a 10. So it was always nice having that kind of player to come from the bench. You are replacing the clutch gene that Correa had because Almada is pretty clutch. So yes, he's a very competent Correa replacement.
Okay, let's just move on to some of our because there are reports like Atleti is still not done in the transfer window. So we are still linked with Ademola Lookman. With the recent reports, Ademola Lookman deal with Inter Milan is not going so well. Inter Milan is still struggling with that 40 million price tag, and Atlanta wants more. Now and then, like we are seriously linked with Enzo Miller, and I mean I can't say that in French accent. Miller
Yo?
or
Just put like
Miller,
a
yeah.
Y. Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, so Enzo Miller, and then I mean, if I'm being honest, I like this option much better than Lookman, to be honest, because first thing first, we're saving money. Second thing, he is younger than Lookman. I mean, Lookman is in his prime for sure, but like if you're, I mean, like right now, like if you look at the signings we've made so far, it's basically like the young players we're getting, and we're literally building for the future. So, I mean, we can add Enzo Milo in that position as well. And when I watch a lot of Dortmund games, I watch a lot of Bundesliga as well. There's only like two times where I hated Dortmund. Once was when they beat our ass 4-0 in second Iduna Park in the group stage, and the second time was the Champions League game, that knockout game. I mean, like I don't know why they have like come in all guns blazing against us in that Champions League knockout game, only to like just to get their asses beaten by Real Madrid in the final. But yeah, anyway, Enzo Miller is the. I think like I saw a similar profile in Enzo Miller, like I saw in Ryan Cherky. I think both of them are like quite similar, and he's a very good dribbler. And like if you can get that type of dribbler with let's say just only 23 or 22 million euros, I think this is a really good deal. I like this deal much better than Lookman as well, especially the fact that the reports are coming from Italy that Ademola Lookman wants Inter Milan. So anyway, Fran, your thoughts on Enzo Millet, like, or would you prefer Ademola Lookman?
Well, I follow a lot Stuttgart, so I have been watching Milot since 2022, and I love him. I don't think, well, it all depends on what Simeone thinks, because he can think of Milot as a De Paul replacement or as an attacker for a right wing, because Milot has played in many different positions. He has played mostly as an advanced 8 in a midfield 3, as a 10 on the right wing of a 4-4-2, but he has also played in the midfield too. I think his profile more resembles De Paul. Although he's a bit more of a dribbler, he has some things of Cherokee. I mean, he's a good dribbler, but he's not as agile as Cherokee. He's very creative, Milot. But yeah, you're getting a good connector in midfield, extremely press resistant, very creative, has an eye for goal, and yeah, you can play him in the midfield too, or you can play him in the right of that 4-4-2 that we used to play last season. But yeah, he always tends to move as a 10 or as an advanced 8 in possession. So even if he plays on the right of the midfield too, you'll see him in those regions. He's quite bad out of possession. So I don't know if in the midfield 2 of our 4-4-2 is the most ideal, but if we ever play a 3 at the back, we can play him there. And yeah, it all depends on what the next signings are, because without De Paul, we are left with 3 midfielders for our midfield 2, and we can see something like last season where we had Koke, De Paul, and Barrios. Koke got injured, and we had the most difficult stretch of our season with De Paul and Barrios as our only midfielders. So in a situation like this, you can play Milot in the midfield too. So I think it's a very positive signing because he's a very good player. I love him. He's pretty versatile, and yeah, he's very talented. I think he's a very different player from Lookman. Lookman I see more as an attacker, as a goal scorer, and Milot I see him player more in deeper regions. So I don't see them as mutually exclusive. I think we can get both easily. If we go right now for Lookman, I'll celebrate because he's incredible. So yeah, I don't think it's one or the other, but it all depends on what Simeone thinks of Milot, because if he thinks of him as an attacker, we need a De Paul replacement, and if he thinks of Milot as a De Paul replacement, we need an attacker. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're going for an attacker, that's for sure. Because again, I think like only one will come out of these two. It'll be either Milo or Ademola Lukman. Let's see. The way I see it, I think like I don't think Lukman would come to Atleti. I think Enzo Milo is like with the reports coming again from Medina as well, and Fabrizio said it last night as well. With Milo being very very close to Atleti, even the reports are coming from Germany as well. I mean, hopefully Simeone can put in some defensive DNA in him, and he can be that creative midfielder kind of. But let's see. I mean, like, I'm really excited to be honest, especially because we might go for one more defender as well in Renato Viega. But again, I think like everything has cooled down. So right now, the only thing which is hot right now is Enzo Miller. That's it. But anyway, we move on to our next topic, which again, so we're gonna do some comparison. So we're gonna start off with left back, which is Matteo Ruggeri. So Matteo Ruggeri, I mean, like I just saw his stats, and I compared him with again, let's say, yeah. Anyway, I'll put it on the screen when we'll edit this. But yeah, anyway, so as you have seen the graph, guys, just look at this, and like as we compare it with Alvaro Carreras, which was our one of our target, and then you compare it with Alejandro Balde as well from Barcelona. So Matteo Ruggeri is the blue one. So when you see this, I mean, like he looks a little bit better than Alvaro Carreras, doesn't he? With the crosses, I mean, like again, like I don't think like if they're like those deadly deliveries, but look at those crosses. The number is very high. The ball carrying is very very similar to Alvaro Carreras, and then the aerial percentage as well, higher than Alvaro Carreras. And then defensive duels, okay, that's a bit less for sure. And then possession won, look at that. It's again bigger than Alvaro Carreras. And then progressive passes, which actually we need in Atleti right now with that left back position. So, I mean, did we make a really, really smart move with Matteo Ruggeri? Because when I see this profile, like with compared to with Alvaro Carreras, there's, I mean, like we're getting a much better player. Can you say? Can you say that?
No, we can't say that. We
But I
can't
mean,
say-
like I was really, really surprised when I checked this out. Actually, I was really surprised. So yeah, I mean, again, these are the like the comparison from last season, obviously. But again, Alvaro Carreras is playing in a much better. He played for Benfica, and like again, he had some pretty good matches as well in the Champions League. But what did you say? Like, was this a smart move going for Matteo Ruggeri with the options we had in the left back as well? Because we were just going after names after names after names. At one point, we were even linked with Lucas Digne, which was very, very shocking for me. What do you think about this, Fran?
Well, considering the options that were mentioned that we had been rumored with, it's a very good choice because we had Robertson, Digne, and well, Ruggeri is much better than those, of course. I won't say he's better than Carreras or Valde. Valde is incredible. Carreras is very good. He's good. I've talked with some Atalanta fans, and yes, he's an excellent crosser. That's his best attribute. His ball striking is very good. We could use that with Sorloth, although Sorloth is not the best header of the ball. He tends to win in the air, so if he can improve that, maybe we have something good going there. He's mainly an attacking fullback. Carreras and Valde are much more complete. Carreras has many times did stayed as a CV in possession as a center back. So yeah, he's more of an attacking fullback. Has always played in the five at the back, and he tends to attack the byline. And yeah, but he's a solid player. I mean, he's good defensively, physically he's very good, a good crosser, quite creative. So we're getting a much better left back than Galan. I wouldn't say he's incredible option, but he was cheap, better than what we had, will be solid. And from the rumors I saw on Twitter, I don't know if they are true, but Simeone seems to like him, and he's been doing well in training, so good. But yeah, I like him. He's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really believe these preseason words coming out from the Spanish media because ever since that Kaler Soyuncu things came out, like like oh, like everyone is surprised by Kaler Soyuncu with the way he's playing, with the defensive, with his fitness and everything. And then like look how it turned up. One match against Athletic Bilbao, and the guy was gone in winter. So yeah, I can't really say much unless until like like the start of the season. But yeah, I mean like for sure. Like again, I heard this about Mark Pubil as well. That like he's big, is very fast. He was very difficult to beat in training. I mean, like when I like when I see this thing, like it kind of like makes me happy and like makes me worried as well because I saw that video against Mark Pubil and Thiago Almada, and I don't know like who to praise. Like, should I praise Marco Bill or like should I be worried that Thiago Almada couldn't beat Marco Bill? So I was on a mix on that one, but but anyway, saying kicks. I mean, just look at the graph of Balde over here. Like that guy looks like a. Look at the defensive duels. Like he looks like a much better player than the two we just showing Alvaro Carreras and obviously Ruggeri. But yeah, anyway, say kicks.
Uh, I mean, stats will show you certain things. I think one of the most important parts about stats is also you can't fully contextualize, for instance, the state of a team, right? Like as Fran said, um, we call it Carreras. A lot of times defensively, you can in possession when they with Benfica, he will fall back and almost be the centre back for them, like a third centre back for them, outside of the goal. So he's clearly a very high level in terms of his defensive capabilities. When I would say like Balde, for instance, I think Balde is a very complete player, but you wouldn't say he's the best ever defensive fullback. That's not something you would say. He would say he's very good at what he does, like, but you can beat him. So certain things you will see here, but then obviously, I think the most important part is between Carreras, Ruggeri, and Balde. I think you don't no mention obviously the physical capability, which is Balde is incredibly fast. Like he can go from his starting like nothing to like top speed in a very short period of time. That's like a very key part of his gameplay. When you look at Ruggeri, his crossing and these other things, he's not necessarily fast in terms of his acceleration, but his top speed is actually quite fast. I think his top speed is similar to Alvarez, I think, which is pretty respectable for a fullback. But obviously, you think when you look at fullbacks, you want to talk about acceleration, you talk about these other things. So the graph is nice. It depends on our system. Maybe he'll be even better defensively for us. Maybe he'll learn some things that he didn't have in Atalanta. Maybe he will do different things. I think he's a decent dribbler, which is also something I think is a bit strange considering how tall he is, and these other factors I just mentioned. But I think he's good. Was he the best possible option that we could have gotten on the left back market? No. I think when you look at the Kuiper, who I don't know if I'm saying that name correctly, the Belgian left back from Club Brugge, who did beat Atalanta in Champions League. That was somebody who we were previously linked to. He ended up leaving for 20 million to Brighton, and it's just like I would have been a decent option. Valentin Barco went to Strasbourg for about 10 million on loan. Again, another decent option, I think, considering the prices that we just mentioned. But
I think Barco. I think Strasbourg bought Barco finally. They had a buy.
He was on loan.
10 million. But he would have been very good.
You could have easily put down 20 million to Strasbourg and see if they would be interested in selling. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Ruggeri is a very good option considering how much we bought. We were focused on Robertson and Digne before this. So let me not bite the hand that feeds me. I think this is still a good deal, all things considered. I'm very happy about him, and I'd like to see more of what he comes up with this season. I would also keep in mind we're probably going to see those matchups this season too. So we'll see how that graph changes by the end of the season.
I think Ruggeri is very good. He's not going to be a highlight, a super player that will win games for us, but he's going to be a very good player playing with the rest. I mean, I can see him overlapping Baena and that working very well. He's going to be a player that doesn't stand out incredibly, but he'll play his part. He's going to be good. He's not going to let the team down. Well, we had many times problems with Galan making defensive errors because, well, he can't deal with dribbling attackers, so he's not very agile. Whenever he's defending dribblers, he can turn well. He has some problems there. Ruggeri won't have those problems. He's solid in defense. He's solid attacking. He won't stand out, but he's going to be good. So maybe other options would have been stars in our team. Ruggeri is going to be solid, but he's not going to be Barco, De Kuiper. I don't know how you pronounce that. But it's going to be good.
Okay, so next player, so we're gonna compare is Dávid Hancko. So this is a signing I really like. Ashley, I mean, Dávid Hancko was linked with us last season as well, and he literally became a leader in that Feyenoord team, and I'm really happy we finally have a good left-footed centre back. That means again less minutes for Longley. So, and David Hancko can hopefully he can play a long season for us. So let's just compare David Hancko with defenders over here. So we have Robin Linoman, Jose Jimenez, and we have Okay, yeah, same case. You added over Leno man 2 times over here, but
Well,
okay, it's okay. I was like, "Wait, hang on, who is this player like 2 times, or am I glitching or something?" But yeah. Anyway, just look at the graph comparison over here. So I mean, ball carrying again. Just look at the massive difference. Passes again, a big difference. Forward passes, okay, that's almost similar. Progressive passes, which we actually need from a left-footed centre back, and the aerial duels as well. I mean, defensive duels is quite less, and the possession won is quite less as well. But I think like David Hancko like plays in a possession based style of a team with five nods. So I think like this will again with like when you're playing in a possession based team like so like you mostly have most of the possession with yourself only. But anyway, I mean just look at Lenormand over there though actually like wow. I mean, this is the kind of situation we had with De Paul. Fran, I don't know if you'll agree or not. Like De Paul with Argentina was a different player, and with Atletico he was a different player. And then finally this season he actually like did this, like like brought that form from the national team to the club. But David Hansco, I think like again, does he really have the potential to be our main centre back next season? We'll start with you, Fran.
Well, from what I saw, Hanko is. I'm not saying there are similar qualities, but he's more of the Hermoso type player, where he's insane at ball playing. He's insane at ball playing. Everything you want from a ball playing defender, he has good passing, good carrying, good range, and he has that fighting gene, that athletic gene, that warrior gene that Hermoso had and usually showed at times. And I think he's overall much better defensively than Hermoso, but they are similar defenders in that sense that he's mainly a ball playing defender. Anything that he can do with the ball is incredible. But he's also the captain of Feyenoord, so we're getting a leader for our back line. He's not going to be like Hermoso, that wasn't a leader, but he's a leader, he's a warrior, he's good on the ball, and I think he's going to be very good. And I preferred him over Vega. So yeah, I like him. I wish we could have got him last summer. But yeah, he's a good player. He'll be very good for us. I think he's much needed leadership for our backline because we have been needing a leader, especially since Jimenez is usually out for a long time, and Lenormand and Lenglet aren't very good. So yeah, I think overall he's a good signing, and he'll be very good.
I mean, I think Renato Vieira might still join Atleti because I heard this news that like Simeone is trying for three centre backs at the back, and like with the players we have right now, like we are one less defender for a backup option. So I think Renato Vieira still might join us. But yeah, anyway, I think Keeks, what do you think about David Hansco being the leader of our defense this season?
I don't know if he'll be the leader, but he can be a leader. Um, Being able to organize a defense and being able to sniff out certain threats is something that I think he's capable of doing. He's been very good for Slovakia, as we saw last season with the Euros. He's really, really good for that. I think, as we mentioned, Jimenez, I think something that is really important is Hanko's injury history, which is pretty much non-existent, which means we'll get I think something that we haven't had for a while, which is a centre back being constantly available. So that's something I think we should look forward to as well. I think he has a lot of really, as Fran said, really, really good on the ball. I don't think he's the worst off of the ball, but as I said before on Twitter, saying it's like the only reason why I was feeling a bit weird about Vega and Hancko is because I looked at our back line and I thought to myself, man, we really do need a lot of help here. And Hancko is a good option, but Hancko is not enough to fix our back line because we weren't one or two players away from having a really solid back line. We were quite a few players away from having a really solid back line. You know what I mean? So I'm still very happy for this. I think him and Ruggeri do very much fix a lot of the flaws of the previous backline of Galan and Longley. Would I say this will be infinitely better? No, but you can never really be perfect. I think there's a lot to look forward to in terms of the offensive capabilities, though. We'll see how good we are at suffering throughout preseason and throughout the season. I think that's something that we were really good for the first half of the season, and in the second half we weren't particularly good at it. So yeah.
I think, I think it's similar to last season, where yes, we bought Lenormand, who is a good player, but still doesn't get us over the edge. He still isn't improving us to a whole new level. That's what I feel with Hancko. And you also have the problem that Simeone still prefers to play a more defensive approach in big games. So yes, he will improve us when we dominate possession, but what happens when you play against Real Madrid in the Champions League? I don't know if Hancko is going to be excellent in a game like those. But yeah, I feel like it's a similar story with Lenormand, where I feel that he improves us, but isn't going to make us the best. And I would have rather a more dominant CV, like someone like Romero. I want Romero.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously you need more Argentinian players in Atleti Madrid. But yeah, I mean, like, for sure, like Romero is one of the best centre backs in the world. Like, jokes aside, I think Romero would have been a really good signing for us in this transfer window. But we all know, like, again, like Daniel Levy is that one of those assholes. Like, it's really difficult to deal with. I think, like with Romero, what we can try is like we can try what Real Madrid actually do, which again is just to like let's try to get him for free. Let him run down his contract. Let's see. I mean, like some people are saying, like there still might be a situation, but I think like after signing David Hancko, and I think we might go for Renato Viega as well. So I don't think Romero is coming to Atleti this summer. Yeah, because especially the price as well. I mean, they're asking for 70 million. I mean, like once again, like we talked about this in case, like Tottenham winning the Europa League literally ruined it for us. I think like if Tottenham didn't win the Europa League,
Hey, I'm still happy he got his trophy. I got to see Son win a trophy. I'm fine with that. It is what it is.
I mean the guy has a World Cup, bro. Like you're talking about Europa League, come on.
True. But still,
But still, I mean, like like some there should have been some sacrifice. So yeah, I would have loved it. I think Romero was definitely an athletic player if Tottenham didn't win the Europa League, and we would have get him for around 50 to 60 million easily. Now with Tottenham winning the Europa League, they're in the Champions League, and obviously Daniel Levy would be one of those assholes who just want to let his player go. But anyway, and again, Atleti won't pay obviously 70 to 80 million, especially the fact that again, Tottenham finished at the bottom table of the Premier League, which again, like you can't be asking that much money, but still, we all know. Anyway, again, so I was just sharing the graph with David Hancko comparing with other defenders, for example, Inigo Martinez from Barcelona and Antonio Rudiger from Real Madrid. And I mean, guys, just look at the graph over here. It's very, very similar to Inigo Martinez over here. Like, it's so similar. Just look at it. I mean, like, David Hancko is, you can say, like, forward passes, it's a bit less. But again, I mean, that's Barcelona, obviously. Like, like you have most of the possession in the game. So with Inigo Martinez, I can see that happening. But just look at the graph, guys. I mean, like, are you excited for this one, or what do you think about the graph right now, which you're looking?
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Inigo is pretty good on the ball, on possession, but Hancko is a bit more, I don't know how to say it, but he will stand out a lot more on the ball. He tries more progressive passes, progressive runs. His range of passing is pretty good, but he was more focused on keeping possession. Hancko will do a bit more interesting things. I think that's what the graph fails to show. But yeah, I mean, he's similar to Iñigo Martinez. I'd say he's a bit better, but Rudiger, I think, is far superior, even though the graph doesn't show it very well.
St. Keeks?
I, even though I'm a Roma fan, I've never been a big fan of Rudiger. I think he's very aggressive, but I think his best traits are
The guy is a psycho. The guy is a psycho. Just say it.
Nah, that's neither here nor there. I'm not talking about who he is, or like in terms of like on the pitch antics. I'm talking about him as a centre back. I think in a back three, he's been amazing for Chelsea. Not so much Roma, but for Chelsea, right? We saw it where he looked near Imperial there, but then in Real Madrid, he has looked very reachable. If that makes sense. I'm not sure if I'm using this in the correct way, but it's like Rudiger is a player, and especially for Germany over these past few years, Rudiger is a player who hasn't really stood out in an insane way as a centre back of a club like Real Madrid, or has really stood out in my eyes. But defensively, I can't really argue. I think he probably still is a bit better than Hancko. In terms of the capabilities, we'll see. Actually, I think I am hearing stuff about us getting another centre back. So I'm not sure if we are going to a back three. But we'll see what happens with time. Because I think you mentioned before on Twitter that Hubil might be used as a right-sided centre back, right? Maybe because we're not sure if Molina is staying. We don't know how the situation is going. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a similar situation to last season, where Llorente played close to the back line. But yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, that's why we have pre-season, no? We can see what Simeone is trying to do.
And our first preseason game is coming very quick as well. I think it's this weekend, I guess, if I'm not wrong. Sunday, yeah, against Porto. Yeah, and they're calling it Diego Jota, or like they're tributing in Diego Jota, which again, I mean that was very sad. But anyway, guys, now just look at the midfielders we have: Alex Baena, Thiago Almada, and like we've seen, like Simeone is trying to play them in midfield, sometimes up front as well, and then with hopefully the signing of Enzo Millet as well. Do you guys think the midfield position is covered with these three signings?
Yeah. We added a lot of creativity to the team, which is quite nice, especially having Julian up top. So yeah, it's nice. I think all of our midfield signings will do well. I'm still missing the De Paul replacement, but it's pretty good so far.
I don't think we're signing any midfielder after Enzo Millet, that's for sure.
At least from what it seems like, it doesn't seem like that's happening. But we'll see.
Something cheap. I'm not asking for much. I don't think we have someone, I'm not an expert on this. St. Kitts knows more, but I don't think we have a competent one in the academy, no?
Oh, like Taufik? Or
Taufik,
Well, you mean like right now? No. I think in terms of midfielders right now, in terms of the double pivot,
yeah,
players that we were looking at were Gizmira, Celo Diallo.
And I mean, I forgot to mention we have Johnny Cardoso as well. So
we do, yeah. So we've traded. We were down to 3 last season. We took away one with De Paul and put in Cardoso. It's like, all right, so it's just switched from 6 to 8 now, which is nice. But yeah, it's like in terms of the academy, Celo Diallo is probably going to play for Alaves this season, so that's probably not a likelihood. I don't know. I don't think we have anybody we could really promote outside of maybe Yano or Taufik, really, and they're not quite ready for the first division in my opinion. So We'll see in the preseason though. Maybe we'll be surprised.
For sure, for sure. And I mean, I think like for this one, I think the exact replacement for De Paul would be Pablo Barrios stepping up in that position, being that like an all rounder. And then again for defensive stability, we're gonna add Johnny Cardoso as well. And then for creativity, we have these two players, which again Alex Baena, Thiago Almada, or sometimes I think Enzo Miller will be that kind of a dribbler as well. I think I mean it'll be interesting to see like how Simeone like put all the pieces together and try to make that Atletico de Madrid 25-26 machine work. Let's see. But yeah, I think that's pretty much for as of now. Saint Kicks, you wanna add anything, or Fran, you wanna add anything?
Uh,
Not
yeah,
that I can think of.
yeah, not until preseason. I don't think anything. I don't have any strong thoughts.
I want to watch the games. Porto and Newcastle.
Porto, Newcastle, and then I think there are a few games as well, right? Like we played that traditional game against I forgot the name of the team. Numancia? Is it Numancia?
Hmm.
Well, last season we did the game against Numancia already a few games into the season, I remember, into the La Liga season. I think we did that friendly during an international break or something like that.
I think so. I think it was like at the end of August or something, right?
Yeah.
Or was that no? Was that last season? Or was it the season before?
I think last season, because the season before, I think it was the one that we had the goalkeeper playing as striker.
Luis. Yeah. I remember that now. Yeah. He's unfortunately he's left now. He's going to greener pastures. But I'll remember that moment. That was hilarious.
I mean, like since you guys were talking about like ever since Morata had that hat trick against Juventus, like he sold dreams to me that season. So yeah, preseason. I mean, I hope everything works out. I hope Simeone, like figure out that formation, how to play them all together. But yeah, I think like for me, it's gonna be like at the start of the season only. Like when we'll see the real Atletico de Madrid, which again would be I think after that 15th, 16th of August. But yeah, let's see. I mean, that Morata had to really sold dreams to me against Juventus. I was like, okay, hang on, this guy is actually cooking. But anyway,
Morata was very good that season, especially at the start. He sold you dreams, and he was good on his word until the second half of the season. But he showed incredible things.
exactly, and I hope like like this time, like if like if they let's say they show us some hopes, I hope they go on and like like go on to achieve those things. But yeah, it's definitely exciting times for Atletico de Madrid, especially as fans as well. Before closing, I'll ask you this, Fran, like since you watch a lot of Brazilian, you follow up all Botafogo as well in the Brazilian league. So again, one of your rivals, Flamengo, is again like mentioned at the start of the show as well. Like literally Atletico de Madrid 2.0 with Felipe Luis as a manager, and then Samu Lino coming in Flamengo as well, and then Saul joining Flamengo as well. So that's like I mean big three names joining Flamengo. So what would be your like situation now? You gonna continue supporting Botafogo, or now you're gonna have a soft side for Flamengo as well?
Now, yes, of course, I'm going to support Botafogo. Flamengo are the eternal rivals of Botafogo. They are in the same city, so we hate Flamengo, and I hate them. But yeah, right now they are extremely good. Felipe Luis is a very good manager. I think they are now top of the league because Cruzeiro lost the last game. So yeah, I don't like it because they are going to be very good. They are fixing their problems in the window, but no, of course I'm not going to support them. But I enjoy watching a lot Flamengo because they are a very good team.
Mhm.
Indeed, indeed. Anyway, guys, to all of the fans who are watching us, do let us know your opinions. What do you think about the situation right now with Atletico de Madrid, and how excited you are with the transfer we're having, and what do you guys think about Enzo Milo as well? Is he the perfect replacement for Ademola Lookman? If Lookman doesn't join us, do let us know your opinions, and also what do you guys think about the Samu Lino exit from Atleti as well. You can, I mean, the comment section is open. You can write all you want. And special thanks to Fran for joining us today. And like we hope like you can come more often with us. Like we'd like to have you on the show. And until then, Opa Atleti guys. See you guys soon.
Bye.